Namaskar. Hello everyone. This is Pooja and welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel is an attempt to understand some basic physics concepts. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. In this video, we will be talking about the general properties of radiation detectors. We begin with a detector that is subject to some sort of irradiation. We now focus our attention towards the interaction of a single particle or a quantum of electromagnetic radiation, which might be a single alpha particle or a single gamma ray photon. This radiation must undergo interaction through one of the mechanisms. Before this, let us first focus upon the ionizing radiations that have energy greater than 10 electron volts. We classify radiations into two broad categories, that is charged and uncharged. Charged radiations are subdivided into fast electrons, which comprises of beta plus and beta minus, which are observed in nuclear decay, and energetic electrons. Another category of charged radiations are the heavy charged particles, which are energetic ions with mass greater than or equal to 1 atomic mass units. Uncharged radiations, on the other hand, are classified into electromagnetic and neutrons. Electromagnetic radiations comprise of X-rays, which are emitted in the rearrangement of electron shells of the atoms, and gamma rays, which occur because of the transitions within the nucleus. Neutrons can be either slow neutrons or fast neutrons. Now, talking about the interactions, fast electrons interact mainly via radiative processes, which include Bremsstrahlung or electromagnetic radiations, and they can also interact via Coulomb interactions. Heavy charged particles like alpha protons or fission products, etc., they interact via Coulomb forces. Gamma rays, for example, can interact through photoelectric absorption, Compton scattering, pair production, etc. Slow and fast neutrons interact via elastic scattering and inelastic scattering, respectively. So this interaction or stopping time is very small, so the deposition of radiation energy can be considered instantaneous. So what is the net result of such an interaction? This is the appearance of a given amount of electric charge within the detector active volume. So now that the radiation has interacted with the detector medium, the result is the deposition of this charge Q within the active volume of the detector. Next important step is the collection of this charge. This charge must be collected to form a basic electrical signal. So how do we do that? So the collection of charge is accomplished through the imposition of electric field within the detector, which causes the positive and negative charges created by the radiation to flow in opposite directions. The time required to fully collect the charge varies greatly from one detector to another. This collection time varies from detector to detector. For example, in ion chambers, it can be of the order of some milliseconds, and in semiconductor diode detectors, it can be of few nanoseconds. And these times reflect the mobility of charge carriers within the detector active volume and the average distance that must be traveled before the arrival at the collection electrodes. So in a prototypical detector, response to a single particle or quantum of radiation will be a current that flows for a time equal to charge collection time, that is Tc. So if we consider the response to a single particle or quantum of radiation, that will be a current that flows for some time which is equal to charge collection time, and the sketch for the same is illustrated as follows. This is the time dependence the detector current might assume, where Tc represents the charge collection time, and the time integral over the duration of the current is the total charge Q that is generated in a specific interaction. So if we summarize this interaction of a single particle or quantum of radiation, we see that, so we have a detector and it was subjected to some sort of an irradiation, that is exposure to radiation, which for the present case is a single alpha or an individual gamma ray photon. Next is the interaction of this radiation with the detector medium, and which results in the instantaneous deposition of the radiation energy. So as a next step, we see that electric charge Q appears within the detector active volume. It is this charge which now needs to be collected. So for this, an electric field E is imposed within the detector, and as a result of this, positive and negative charges created by the radiation will flow in opposite directions. So the time required to fully collect the charge varies greatly from one detector to another, and this flow of positive and negative charges constitute the current which flows for a time equal to the charge collection time, which is Tc. And this time integral over the duration of current is Q, that is total amount of charge generated in that specific interaction. However, in any real situation, what happens is that many quanta of radiation will interact over a period of time. So we have a detector, and not just a single particle or quantum of radiation is interacting, but now we have many quanta of radiation. So now current flows in the detector from more than one interaction at a given time. So as you can see the sketch of the instantaneous current flowing in the detector. Here you can see the magnitude and the duration of each current pulse is varying, and it depends upon the type of interaction, since we are now talking about more than one quanta of radiation or more than one particle interacting within the detector active volume. Another point to be noted is that since the arrival of radiation quanta is a random phenomenon which is governed by Poisson statistics, therefore the time interval between the successive current pulses are also randomly distributed. So I hope you liked this explanation and it was easier for you to understand the basic concepts. If you like my video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.